Mr. Warren, I wanted to ask you about on your northeast corridor there. Do you find at this point that your passengers are utilizing all or most of the tickets for either the conventional or the Acela high-speed line? How's that performing?
I'm sorry, passengers are utilizing the Amtrak regional and Amtrak.
How are ticket sales for the high-speed line, basically? Yeah. Are they
Well,
selling out? Are
Acela's
they
struggled
staying close?
some because they've had a shortage of trains and have just been replacing them. The regional trains have been doing very well on the corridor. The leisure
Are
travel.
the high-speed Acela trains selling out?
I might turn to Stephen for that. I know the trains I've taken have been very busy, partly because there's been fewer of them, but they've also been getting more leisure travelers on the Acela trains to make up for some of the loss of business travelers. So overall, the ridership, as Stephen mentioned before, on the corridor is very strong, particularly Amtrak. The commuter railroads
I'm trying to parallel this with the prospects of a high-speed rail in California. Of course, it's going to be 4 times more the cost that was sold to the voters back 10, 12 years ago, whatever it was. And so I want to see the performance of, on a dense route, like, so I'll ask it again. Do you believe Acela, the high-speed trains in of themselves, are they performing well on tickets, on sales, or are they half full? How's it look?
Yeah, well, before COVID, they were making a significant profit, an operating profit. That was largely driven by the Acela trains and the sales made for tickets on the Acela trains. I believe the profits were in the neighborhood of $400 million a year on the operating side on the Northeast Corridor pre-COVID. Obviously, since COVID, they've been down, but the Acela trains have been very successful and have driven significant operating profits on the corridor.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Gardner, what do you anticipate the Amtrak's relationship will be with California with the high-speed rail line, whatever portion that may be completed of that? Right now, it's going to start in an almond orchard and somewhere around Bakersfield and be completed somewhere around Madera is just the first segment. There's going to be 2 more giant segments needed after that. What do you think Amtrak's role will be with whatever that's going to be?
Well, Congressman, thanks for the question. I think that, first off, the state and the authority and our partners, JPAs, will decide exactly how the service is going to progress. My understanding is that there will be a connection between the San Joaquin service to the new high-speed service, and we'll see if Amtrak is the operator there. I mean, we are really the partner, we're the provider of service, so it's really the state and the authorities that are going to decide how the service operates. But we will connect wherever we can with our long-distance service, of course, to create opportunities for riders to connect to the service.
Yeah, okay, thank you. When we're talking in general about expansion of service or lines, or are we talking building new tracks somewhere for Amtrak?
Most often not. So most of the expansion opportunities that we see and that many folks have applied for through this corridor development program are to take existing railway lines and upgrade them in some instances, or use them if they're already at the right class of track.
And for the most part, so there might be areas where you're adding more parallel track or even making brand new, breaking ground on new routes.
There will be instances where additional track is necessary, often within an existing right-of-way, because many right-of-ways used to have more track than they do today, and we're downsized by the freight railroads. So, but in some cases, there may be a need for some additional track or new routes, but much of the proposed expansion of service is on existing rail lines.
Okay. How do you expect that, I'm not trying to be a mean guy here on this. I like passenger rail, and I enjoy it on the times we get to run up and down the corridor here and such, but, it's got to be in the ballpark of at least breaking even or profitable. So how does adding more to a situation that is not profitable or break even going to help the bottom line to not take that even in a deeper spiral?
Well, Congressman, I would say that most of the really all of the states who decide to get into this business of supporting passenger rail do so for broader mobility goals, the same way that public transit operates, right? Public transit is not profitable. It comes with significant investments that are required, but it creates value by providing mobility that then enables more economic activity, enables development in cities and towns. So I think that's the rationale on which folks invest in passenger rail, because transportation in and of itself is often unprofitable. If you add all the costs of the aviation system to what the carriers pay, you don't, I think, in a way, see a net profit. Similarly, on the highway system, it's a means to create value in these transportation systems. And so states elect to start new service or fund the service they have because they get value for their citizens in doing so.
I get you. I'm
yeah.
going to have to yield the time here, so thank you. But
Thank
it
you.
sounds like the bottom line is that indeed it will add more negative costs that federal government will have to cover if since there doesn't seem to be the ability to have profit. So thank you again for your indulgence.